We're live.
Welcome to tonight's Finance Committee, August 14th at 7:05. Roll call. Full members.
Ms. Cheney.
Here.
Mr. Fisher. Mr. Knipp.
Here.
Mr. Marks. Ms. Snyder.
Here.
All members are accounted for.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve today's agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, we have to have the minutes from Finance Committee from last time. Do we have a motion? I put forth a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion.
July 31st.
Second.
Sorry, did you put the first motion originally?
I did a motion.
Oh, you did?
You got a
Oh,
motion?
so
Okay,
second.
then I'll second.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Got to keep the minutes going, that's all.
Next, we have new business to Mr. Pritt on the financial package.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we had an all in favor on that, right?
Yes, we have all in favor?
There we go.
Aye.
Good catch, Ashley. Okay. All right. Hopefully you have in front of you the finance report. Again, that can be found on the village's website under the finance packet, under the council packets, finance packet for tonight, August 14th. For the month of July, fiscal year 23, the village had a combined bank balance of $2,828,279.32. Of this amount, $1,096,492.12 can be found in the village's primary checking account, while the balance resides in several village dedicated funds. The village generated $113,169.26 in general fund income tax receipts. That those RETA collections were significantly higher than July of the previous year, and of course June last month. Considering that they were lower, this is a significant increase for the year. The village has collected $636,727.91 in general fund income tax receipts. This is just under 9% higher than where we were in July of 2022. So definitely good news for the village. There was no change to property tax in July. Again, I'm not going to rehash that. We get those payments twice a year. That will not happen until sometime this month, probably. The village received $153,268.33 in general fund receipts. That number is $60,456.52 more than July of fiscal year 22. As mentioned last month, again, historically, both June and July are slower months for the DEA program. So although we have received less money from that program so far for June and July. That being said, the village does still project receipts of approximately $172,000 for the year, which would be positive. Just as a side note, we did receive a $6,500 or $6,600 drop from the DA program just last week. I think it was Thursday or Friday. That will be reported in next month's, but the dry spell is up. Thankfully, that is still projecting positive. For that program to be just balance positive at the end of the year, it only needs about $15,000-$20,000 for the rest of the year. So good news where we're holding now for the 1 year picture. Obviously, for the broader picture, we want to see a lot more, and hopefully we will get back to that 200,000 projection. The Star Fund earned $6,894.25 for the month of July. That totals $33,432.43 for 2023. Again,
We should send Matt another card.
well, yes, absolutely. But if you all recall, we initially had put in $500,000 investment. Before I did it, I made sure to I think mention it to all of you in a previous council that my intention was to put in an additional $1 million. We're still at about $1.5 million, so $1.5 million plus $33,000. That number is already double what we thought it was going to be because we put so much of the reserve in the Star Fund. So really, really a big positive that we moved forward with the Star Fund. I think current interest is somewhere around 5.4. So really a fantastic thing to see. Additionally, so $500,000 of the reserve has been placed in a Fifth Third savings account, which earns 3.6% interest. There was an opportunity to raise that, but it put the village at significantly higher risk for collateral. Currently, we're insured at 102% collateral. So anything in addition to the FDIC mandatory $250,000 in an ordinary bank account, you, me, anyone else, we don't get any protection. But the village's funds are collateralized in cash with Fifth Third for 102% of the balance that we have in the bank account. So we're protected. We don't have to worry about, considering that if a bank does have issues or where they are collateralized, those are the people who their funds are recovered first. So we are in significantly better position than any individual might be for security of their bank account. Mind you, the majority of our money is in the Star Fund, which is also a pooled account, a pooled collateral account. So something that we receive regularly from the banks that we do business with, and of course it helps that the Star Fund is managed by the Ohio Treasurer of State. So just to answer some of our questions from previously, that is a very big positive. Again, that 3.6% at $500,000 should provide the village with approximately additional $18,000 in interest. Again, that's about what we thought we were going to get for 23. So we have that in an additional bank account, right? We've already doubled what interest we thought we were going to get. We don't know where interest is going to be next year. We don't know where things are going to be, but we do see a lot of positive receipts from that, which is very good. So just a quick rundown of that. Top 5 payees for the month were payroll, DPS, Andrew Federer, that was the Shade Sale, Rumpke, OPNF, Ohio Police and Fire. Total village general fund appropriations spent for the month was in the amount of $172,399. That's about $35,767.17 less than July of fiscal year 22. The village did have 24 outstanding payments that totaled $60,522.95. And the village administration will continue to monitor appropriation spend and make any adjustments deemed necessary. Now, I will point out for all of you who are keeping track, keeping score, so to speak, that the village combined bank balance was way higher at the end of last month. The reason being is that we had cut quite a few large checks for Weehee, now for Canterbury. So the check for Weehee actually hadn't cleared yet. We issued that last month, and the check for Canterbury. So expect to see that balance to shrink. We're spending a lot of money on roads. We need to spend a lot of money on roads, but that's where our reserve is coming from, outside of general fund, which is approximately $1 million. Right, for the $3 million that we have, vast majority of that is the road fund. Another point, which you may or may not see on page, well, it's not page, but it's like the third section where there's outstanding payments. If you had been following for many years, Andy Lanzer's name had appeared at the top of that list.
Yeah.
That no longer appears.
Oh, he's been officially corrected.
Well, the check was cut. It just was never cashed. So now the check has been reissued. I think he didn't want to have it reissued for himself, and in his humility, I guess, just waited for that and assumed whatever's going to be will be. There were about 5 or 6 other outstanding payments which were either moved into the unclaimed monies fund, a little bit more into the weeds than you guys necessarily are used to, but it's been cleaned up, and hopefully you will see a lot more turnover and a lot less of those what do we call them, frequent flyers in the outstanding payment of report. So, end of report.
Thank you, Mr. Critter, for that report. And I really appreciate you looking into the insurance on our money that we put into the investment. And it's very comforting to hear that we are 102% protected. Next, new business, old business. I did speak to the chair of the executive and tell him that we got to rush up to compensate our employees that are waiting for their compensation, and by next week, he guaranteed that we would have his recommendation and that we would move forward. That's how I'm doing that. And a motion, next financial meeting will be September 11th and 6:30. And a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And it's adjourned.
Next.
Time?
Time.
Is there another